So are we not allowed to leave the guild at all now? Unless it's on this mission?
Yeah, you can alright leave the guild.
I've been musing over what I read in Belen's book about the flesh columns. I believe I can use it to create something of my own, but I need a few supplies from town.
Are you sure you want to do anything with that wretched tome, Flint? Are you sure that you could even control such a thing?
I'm certain. It's not of flesh or of anything like that. It just gave me a moment of inspiration. Call it.
So you were simply using principles in the book. I see. Sorry, I can barely think straight at the moment. Yes, listen, I'm going to go to the library as I was going to do before. I'm sorry, I just need some time to think.
Yeah, and Simeon, what will you be doing?
These people have to think in the strangest ways. It's too complex for me. But Nargrax, I shall accompany you. Best not to travel alone, at least.
Nagox will say, before we depart, I'll just be a moment. Nagox is going to go into the guild bathroom. Is anybody in there at the moment?
No.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to say that at last night, Nagox will have attuned to his the hat of disguise he got last time, and he's going to use it. He's going to use it to take the form of a burly, bald human.
Fair enough.
Okay. And he will walk back out of the bathroom and just tap Simeon on the shoulder as he passes to let him know that it's him.
Oh, well met, friend. I help you.
It's me, Simeon. Let's go.
I don't know you. What's your name, friend?
Whispers in to see what's him. It's
You come to a random you come to me as dressed as a random person and go, "It's me."
I assume that my voice would still be the same.
Oh,
Actually,
are we going like
actually a
second
point.
Harry Potter movie Polyjuice, or
That's
like?
actually a point. Does this change your voice, Doom, or does it just change your appearance?
It changes the appearance.
Yeah, I assume that my voice would be the same, so that's why I did that.
Okay.
It's me.
Nagox goes, it's me, Simeon. Sorry, my throat was dry.
Let's have a drink together, friend.
Whispers in his
Got
ear.
common intelligence.
It's Nagrax, you dunderhead.
Oh! I didn't notice the hat. Oh, my apologies. Why are you dressed? Why? You know, I've had enough things question me for
to
one
take
day.
a specific interest in me. It'd probably be best if I didn't look like me. We should probably keep distance from one another. I'll leave the guild first. You follow about a minute after.
I'll think for a moment. I'll consider asking Flint for his hat. No.
You'd have to be attuned to you, so that would take about 15-20 minutes, I think.
No. I won't hide my face.
I kind of need this hat at the moment.
I never mentioned it out loud. I'm just
fair
in,
enough.
In a monologue and then muttering to myself. No. Must go out, head held high, yes. I'll walk me down.
Aye, lad. Walk me down it is. Frojo, walk me down.
Does he even ask you for money at this point?
No.
Yeah. I'll give him another finger gun and walk out.
Okay.
I guess it's us then, Finian.
Yeah. So, did you want to go shopping?
Yes, do you remember that lovely dwarven gem trader?
Vaguely, yeah.
Picked up a few gems I'd like to trade.
Oh, then there we go.
I've just remembered that I put the Cloak of Elvenkind in my inventory. I'm going to wear that.
Yep.
I don't think I have to... Oh, no, it requires attunement. Fucking never mind. I didn't
What's
see
the
that.
means of attunements?
How do I see that? It just says requires attunement.
I could say that you spent the time previously doing it during the night. If it doesn't have any particular attunement conditions.
Ooh, I don't think so. It doesn't
It
say...
says like it needs an artificer or a druid to attune it. It says so.
Oh, it just says wondrous item uncommon requires attunement. Doesn't say anything class specific.
It said you took care of it last night.
Oh, okay, cool. So now I have perception checks against me have disadvantage. And I have the hood up, which I will put the hood up.
Okie dokie.
And I have advantage on stealth checks. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. Which means it's just regular for me then, I suppose.
But you make your way to the gem trader.
I greet him in Dwarvish. It's like, hello, my friend.
Hello, lad. How you doing again?
I'm good, good. I came across some stuff in the Spire I was hoping you would be interested in.
Go on, let's have a look at it.
So let me bring that.
He will offer you the value of the gems for what they're worth.
Right, I've got a tiger's eye. And actually, just realising something. Do you use Macalite for anything? Malachite?
Mostly for ornamentation.
Would you be willing to buy some off me? I've got 5 pieces of ore.
Sure, why not?
Yep. So that's 1 tiger eye and 5 malachite.
Okay. He gives you the value of each of them.
60 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm after a lockbox.
What type of lockbox are you after?
Something on the slightly fancy side, around about 400 gold, I'd say. Just to store my valuables and spellbook, wave it in and whatnot.
Let me see what I got. He just ruffles behind the counter and then goes behind the desk and he pulls up several lot boxes. A silver one, a bronze one, and a couple of golden ones with jewels. This is about what I've got. The golden ones can lock magically. The other ones need physical locks.
So the lockbox is a requirement for my spell there, Doom. Would any of them fill that requirement?
Does it specify the type of lockbox other than value?
I don't think it does. I'll just double check. A metal lockbox worth at least 400 GP.
They're all metal, so.
Right.
This bronze one here, that's going to be worth 200 gold.
Right.
It's somewhat sturdy. The silver one, on the other hand, that's going to be worth 410. The golden with the jewels, you're going to be looking at about 1,000 for them.
Oof. The jeweled ones are a bit out of my price range. I'll go with the silver one.
Yeah, sure thing. He hands it over to you, waiting for the coin.
410, did you say?
410.
I'd like to remove that.
Yep. Okay, so he takes the gold off you.
Yep.
Pleasure doing business with you.
Thank you.
I hope you keep all your valuables safe.
Yes, so do I. I smile back at him. Then I'd like to
smiles
leave.
back at you. Okay. As you leave, Finian will speak up. Is there anything else?
No, that's everything. I guess we should see what Nargrax and Simeon are up to. I imagine he loves it in the library, Simeon.
Ah, yes. Probably right at home.
Favorite.
Okay. I'll switch over to Nargrax. You make your way through the streets generally, and no one really pays you much attention. It's early, so there aren't so many people out, but you do generally still get the same kind of sense from everything around you of people are watching crowds. You don't really see any tieflings out at all.
Okay.
You make your way through the rounding streets, and eventually you come to a large grand building with ornate stone pillars outside of it. There's a large kind of staircase leading up to it. As you go up it, you get greeted by a woman wearing spectacles, a human. Oh, good evening. Well, good morning, I should say. Sorry, I've been there all night. She puts her hair behind her ear.
We've all had days like that, not to worry.
An all day in a library? Not out.
I'm a librarian. I work here. I like
You're forced here. Of course. Makes sense now, yes.
I suppose in a way. I do need coin. How can I help you? Anything you need, I can help you before I leave.
I'm just wanting to go inside. I have to admit, I come from a small town up north. Just want to kind of get a better idea. It seems very restless and fun lately. I would like to learn a little bit more about the town's history.
Oh, certainly. If you want to come this way, she leads you up the stairs and in through the main doors. You enter into a large open area. There's a spiral staircase in front of you that leads up to a second floor. And there are basically shelves full of books surrounding you. There are aisles that disappear and twist around corners. Just books everywhere. Generally, the place is lit by what seems to be some sort of little glow lamps. There's no fire hazard potentially.
Smart.
A lot of dry ass parchment and candles around, yeah, that's what.
So you would like history? She starts leading you over towards the right wing. And you see quite a lot of books. None of them actually really look all that old, to be honest. Maybe a few decades at most. Just right here will be the history section for the town and surrounding area generally.
Nagrak's actually comment, would that be apparent to him that these books...
I'd say it'd be kind of obvious, really, to be honest.
Okay, so you will say, considering that these are history books, I expected them to look older. These all look to be recently printed.
Kron is only about 40 years old.
To be honest, while I'm here, I'd like to learn more about Neros as well, and the secrets they may have.
Fucking, can we just stop and get a round of applause for that? That was fucking good.
If you're wanting a general history, just across the corridor over there would be most books on the continent as a whole. As well as all various religions and so on and so forth.
Yes, I'll probably spend some time in that section. Thank you very much for your help. I appreciate your assistance.
You're most welcome. I should probably go and get 2 hours of sleep. Got another long day ahead of me. And she wandered off.
Okay, and with that, Nagrax will approach the section that she mentioned.
Okie dokie. I assume you mean the general larger history section.
like the general history of the world.
Okay, the books in this section definitely do look a lot older. Some of them are quite worn. Some of them look semi-new. So, what do you generally do whilst you're there? What are you looking for?
I think Nagrax is going to start to see maybe the conflicts that have been occurring in Neros maybe over the last like wars and just like unrest. He's basically trying to see like whether what's happening now has repeated before, or whether there may have been any precedent for it.
Roll in investigation. I say give it with advantage as well, given you went into the right section.
And I think I'm going to do guidance for this one because this is quite important. Investigation, did you say?
Yes.
Oh, God's sake. Well, yeah, I'm not rolling well tonight. Right, so 12 on.
Okay, with 12, I'm going to say you find a book that catches your eye in particular. It seems to be some sort of chronological epic of the history of the continent.
Okay.
As you flick through the book, it tells of great wars between gods and demons, which shapes the land around about 300 years ago. And from then, the spires began to emerge. There was a lot of unrest before the founding of the guilds. And once the guilds were founded, conflict began over control of the spires.
Okay.
There's no real history of specifically targeting a race, but you can't really find out any other info from before the 300 years mark.
Okay. So, Nagrak's reading through this. Are there any books pertaining to the origin of the spires specifically?
Say roll another investigation to see if you can find something regarding that.
Am I in the right section for it?
You would be given this general history of the continent.
So, yeah, just a regular investigation this time, I take it.
Well, I'll give you advantage again.
Hey.
Wow, dude, you're feeling nice today.
For now.
But
You find various different books that all detail theories of where the spires come from and what causes them. For the most part, they've always seemed to just appear randomly without warning, and they will steadily start to grow over time. More floors growing on top of what already exists. One of the oldest spires is in Faln.
okay.
It's in the center of a lake from what was once said to have been a great city.
So, what specifically are the theories? Because you've described like how they appear, but not why they might appear.
Some theorize that it's good judgment of the gods testing the people of the land. Others believe that it might be the world trying to retain or regain the natural order of rebirthing creatures that used to be common and giving them a means to re-enter the world.
Okay.
They're generally the two main prevailing theories that seem to recur.
So, divine providence, and what was the other one?
The planet itself, effectively trying to rebalance the natural order.
Okay. I think.
God,
next-
is it going to make weapon? No!
so,
Want to fight diamond weapon?
I think Nagrak's then reading that is going to perhaps want to read a little bit more regarding, like maybe, like if there isn't anything concrete, like the origins of what started this great conflict between gods and demons, or if there's- or like if anything happened very recently, like maybe in the last 50 years or so, to kind of like really, yeah, just that first actually.
Roll investigation again. Just flat investigation this time.
By investigation, fair enough. I can't roll for toffee tonight, Jesus.
What?
You don't really find anything that can predate the 300-year mark.
Okay, in that
You
case,
find various whispers of cities that you don't know in various texts, but that's about it.
did you say that this was also the section for religion?
I did not.
I thought you mentioned
Uh,
religion actually.
Oh no, I did. Sorry, I did. Yes, that point. Okay, yeah. So you'll be able to find stuff regarding gods, etc. here.
Okay. So I think, considering that was a bit of a dead end for Nagrax, he would now like to see if he can find anything on the origins of the cults of Eldeth and any correlation between that and Lilera, the goddess of joy, other than the fact that the gods are siblings? Like if there are sort of like any crossovers with the faiths and any
Roll of
animosities.
advantage.
Yeah. Can I just roll double figures, please?
Why you want to roll
Fuck it,
double
you have one
figures?
more roll. Screw it.
This is ridiculous. Tonight,
It's because Flint's not there, you see.
possibly. No.
Wow.
Oh my
You
god.
know what? Can I just roll a regular d20 just to see if it's
Yeah,
any
sure,
difference?
yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But we're going with that.
I'm gonna roll regular d20s. This is getting stupid.
Okay. Right, remind me what you want to roll for again.
So basically, origins of the cult of Eldath. Anything concerning like the relationship between Lera and
Okay.
Eldath, like basically more their congregations than the goddesses themselves.
Okay, so in particular for the cult of Eldath, generally the Church of Eldath has been prominent for quite some time. You find it dating all the way back to the war at the 300-year mark. Same can be said for Lilandra, or the Church of Lilandra. There is mentions of that back then, but that quickly began to drop off at about 50 years past the 300-year mark.
Okay.
And generally, it seems that whenever that comes back up, it seems to be mentioned as being just a small church that basically submits to the cardinal pleasures now. Whereas
So,
once it was a church of spring, of joy, of festivals. It's
is
over
that,
time devolved.
so at what point did that happen? Does it say like precisely when that changed? Like 50 years after the 300 mark?
About 50 years after 300 mark, the Church of Lilandra stopped being prominent. It started to become obscure.
Are there any
And then-
citations? Oh, sorry, go on.
Then over the years, it simply became what it is now, effectively.
Are there any citations in that book to like relate to back to maybe a specific incident that caused that?
Yes, you see the mention of basically prayers going unanswered. You see this to be a common theme as well amongst many religions.
So not
It seemed as if
specific to this.
the gods took a step back.
Did this also include Eldath?
No.
So every religion at around that time, except for Eldath,
At-
took a step
around
back.
that time, it also seemed that Eldath did, but Eldath began to regain some of its prominence. I'd say that would have been around the century mark. About a century after the 300-year mark war.
Is there anything pertaining to the fundamental beliefs of Eldath and whether, like the beliefs that we're seeing now, are perhaps more their core beliefs, or is it, as the priest said, that they don't approve of tieflings, but they would use non-aggressive means to try and cleanse them?
For the most part, the teachings are always focused on preserving the peace of the world, be it through defense, through attacking an oppressive force, through unifying the races, and through expelling demonic elements from the world.
But not really much in the way of an elaboration of how that may be achieved, so that's quite open
Yep.
to interpretation.
Indeed.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, that's yeah.
The only real links that you ever see between Eldath and Lilandra are the facts that they were sisters.
Okay.
There are various tales about them and their exploits as gods, effectively. They kind of go into the realm of old biblical tales, effectively, of there being a moral to a story and what sometimes one being right, sometimes the other being right. But they're very much, again, open to interpretation with a lot of their tales.
So when it's like one would be right and the other would be right, is it that they were always, did they have like diametrically opposing views, or was it just like just very slight differences in philosophy?
It'd normally be very slight differences in philosophy. Of sometimes, for instance, Eldath would be much more of a lawful person than Lilandra would. Lilandra.
Whatever you
So,
said.
yeah, so basically, Eldef was more lawful.
Yes.
Leandro, whatever she's called, was more chaotic.
Yes.
Do I see... Actually, when Leo's been speaking to Nargrax, do the books actually match her description and, like, her personality?
Generally, the books describe her as being someone that's much more full of joy, and her skin glows with an ethereal white. When you've seen her, she seems a lot more drained, and the glow from her skin is heavily diminished. Based on what you've been able to read from the description.
Okay. Do you want to go to someone else who might probably still have a few more questions, and I know that I've been speaking for about 10 minutes now?
I'd say at this point Flint has got here, and either you two want to do anything?
The whole time I've been doing that very uninterested thing in a library where I'll just pick up a random book off a shelf, flick through it, and go. Just go to another random shelf, pick up a random book.
Roll a d20.
Oh, for a book about history, that doesn't. Where's the tale of the heroes? The grand adventure.
You pick a random book off a shelf, and it's actually a tale of great heroes.
Oh, this is more like it. Yes.
It even has pictures illustrating the various appearances.
Oh. A glorious individual.
Yeah.
Remarkable about Zenmus, don't you think, Nargrax? And Nargrax doesn't even fucking look up.
He's probably quite, engrossed in what he's
There's
reading.
one tale about a dwarf who fought actually just using his beard. His beard was so strong that if he hit someone with it, it could outright break their jaws.
But that's fucking metal.
So, Elspeth.
Yeah.
If I could get my beard to be
Like,
tool of the
what?
arsenal.
So I walk in the library, sniff the air sack, and that takes me back. And I look around for Nargrax and Simeon.
You see Simeon sort of like trying to mold his beard into something, into a sword.
I hear the strength of facial hair is quite strong. It might not be a bad idea there, Simeon.
Oh, just reading a book.
Where's Nargrax?
I'll go back to my book.
Fair enough. You very easily see him. He's got basically surrounded by a pile of books that he's just piled them up on the floor as he's been reading and flicking through them.
Nerd.
I just squat down next to it. It's like, they have tables where you can read these.
Oh, sorry, Flint. Oh, I probably shouldn't speak so loud in here. I've got to be honest.
Why?
A lot of this is very interesting. But I mean, people are reading. I assume that it's polite to be quiet.
Just like turn around to Simeon, do the librarian. Shh.
Is it not?
Is Finian here?
And like
Yeah,
point to
he
the
is. He's
sign.
just kind of quietly behind.
Just
I
like
turn
point
to
to the
Finian
sign.
like, what?
It's impolite, Simeon.
I just like point to the sign that says every library has that says quiet.
It's in every single language.
Actually, Flint, it's good that you're here. I was just about to have a look to see if there are any books that showed that brand of yours. I don't want to say it too loud.
Oh.
There seems to be quite a lot of conflicts between gods and demons about 300 years ago, too?
Yes.
About 300 years ago. Just kind of want to get a better idea of what's going on here and why people are just so quick to agree with what's happening in the streets. It just seems like madness out there.
I think we are essentially fighting the god, right? Maybe this demon's intentions are good. I say that with a bit of trepidation, like I don't really believe it.
I suppose that remains to be seen.
Hmm.
That Nightwax is going to go back to his books.
Like, I'll stand up and look around, see if I can see if anything on demons.
Are you both going to be searching for them?
So yeah.
I think
both
Nagrak
roll
is
with
still reading this
advantage.
book.
Oh, sorry.
Both roll with advantage.
Both roll with advantage. Okay.
I look to see if there's any books about Dungeons and Dragons.
Roll d20.
A dungeon and a dragon, not together. That'd be madness. Yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna...
22
You find a
my
book
highest.
that seems to be something to do with dungeons and dragonkin,
Wow, I
and there are
actually got a
wits.
nat 20.
Player's Handbook. It doesn't seem interesting.
So damn, those were good rolls. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you both managed to find books on demonology,
Yes.
and Nagrex in particular, you are leafing through and you suddenly stop at a page that shows the exact same brand. It's a soul binding ritual.
Yeah, it's a binding ritual. Nigrax will immediately rush over to Flint and show him this page. Okay, what else does it say?
Yeah, I'd like to read the page.
Basically, it's a symbol for someone who's had a soul bound to their own. Once it is bound
does it
like
say-
this, it is inseparable unless the thing that bound them is destroyed.
Is there any information to say if there's like anything distinct, like the brands take the same shape, but are there any like, I don't know, additional embellishments on the brand to demonstrate like what the nature of the soul might be? You know, like you can see like rings on a tree to determine how old it is, anything like that.
There is nothing specific. It goes into detail that it can be used to bind any lost soul to you, providing someone is able to contain the soul somehow. It can be recently passed, or it can be up to a century past for that particular soul to be bound.
Okay, I think Nigrax in particular would like to see whether this is something that's been like this ritual is being commonly used, or was perhaps used around 250 years ago.
There's no real mention of it ever really being used. It's just something that you've ultimately found. It's not really a history textbook per se. It's more of a examples of demonology book. Potential rituals that a demon has inflicted on others in the past.
Is there anything about perhaps the first recorded, like, incident of this?
No dates at all.
Okay.
The book does look fairly old though, actually.
Okay.
Can I look in the books to actually try and find out what demon might be haunting me? Its name or something?
As you look through the book, you can't find any particular name. It seems to be a symbol that has been shared between various demons. The brand itself seems to be specific to this spell that was used, or this method.
So there's no separate books that I can look in that might have a picture or at least tell me the name of the demon?
No. I'd say that generally from collected searching from the rules, you can't find any names. As a whole, when you've been looking through these types of books, you haven't really found any names of any demons.
No, because I find it strange there aren't any names of any demons in these books.
Yes, that is odd. I can't really say. Well, in some ways, I'm glad I don't know too much about demons. In fact, I would like to look for something else. With that, I think Nigrax is going to see, like, looking more into this type of magic where two souls about, like, whether it's possible to, like, if there's like any spells or any, I don't know, rituals or devices that would be able to help us detect, like, where the other soul might be in this ritual.
Do you not
How
have
do
a
you mean where the
spell
other
that
soul
allows
might
you to
be?
do that?
What was that, sorry?
How do you mean how the other soul might be?
Well, you said that it's bound to another soul, so is the soul actually now bound inside of Flint, or is the source of it residing elsewhere outside of him?
It is now bound into him.
So it's in him. Okay,
Let's say you got that from the previous rolls.
fair enough.
No, but don't you have some sort of divination spell that lets you identify things like this?
Nothing that I can use at this present moment. I mean, speaking to gods, perhaps. Not that they always, well, speak in ways that I can understand, but something so
Lucy-
specific, I'm not so sure.
It's like, at least you get a response, I say, as I close my book pretty heavily.
Yeah, there's one thing I've learned about the gods, Flint, is that they are there, but they are really straightforward. I do concede that point.
It's like, let's just actually remember something. It's like, oh, I set out to buy new clothes and totally forgot. The excitement of coming back to a place like this, it's been a while.
Yeah, Flint, as you look around, you briefly see a small figure around a corner of one of the aisles that disappears.
Do I recognise this figure?
I'm going to say it was cast in shadow, so you couldn't make out any details.
Oof. Could I tell that if he was like observing me or just passing by?
It moved too quickly for you to be able to tell. You noticed it too
Yeah.
late. I'm going to say outright.
I would assume it's just another person then. So, fellow must be in a rush to find a book. Is the librarian gone for her nap still?
Yeah.
No. Finian, you've explored this town more than me. Have you come across any clothing stores?
Oh, yeah, most vendors sell clothes.
Ian, that trick you do with your arms, you think you could do that? Teach me to do that? With that spectral beard?
I can try.
Book, it's fascinating. Dwarf. Walk me a iron beard if I read it right. Amazing, man.
Yes. He is pretty strong.
Yes.
You can say
Mine
that he can
will
walk
aspire
straight
to
through
be.
walls, as long as his beard went first.
What a man.
Oh, I've heard stories of this. They say he was bitten by a cobra, and a few days later, the cobra died.
Oh yes.
You okay,
Oh, that's
Simeon?
really got him.
I've got nothing. Improv has failed me.
Library's a fun place, apparently.
So, oh yes, now Grax, don't you know? Have you not enjoyed reading up on law and history?
No, Grex is going to look into one more thing before he goes.
Okay.
Actually, two more things. He wants to look to see around that 250 years ago mark, whether there was any like cataclysmic events, like economically, socially, like anything that would have that could potentially drastically change the mindset of a large group of people.
Around about that mark, most of the continent seemed to be generally recovering from basically the Great War that was fought. Towns began to build up, and in turn, cities started to get rebuilt. You can generally tell that from the great fights that happened, the majority of the commerce that previously existed was completely destroyed.
Are there any maps though?
Have you roll an investigation again, just see if you find any maps.
Should I assist in that?
Yeah, sure.
Advantage.
Nice.
This is the opposite end of the spectrum, and that's the other opposite end of the spectrum.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to say you managed to find some old maps, and they look vaguely like the ones that there currently are. Generally, there used to be more offshoots of land away from this continent, and particularly where Fallon was. Right now, there is basically a large. Actually, I'll just put up the main map for visual reference. You notice that to the southeast and southwest, there used to be large continents attached to this. Well, basically, kind of attached to it. This central point right here, this used to be all land. And there used to be a mark for a large city right where this spire is, called Dufro.
Okay.
There are lots of other cities and towns marked around, and none of them match up to the current maps.
Okay. Is the Shrine of Yaldrin on this map?
No.
Is that because it would be too early?
Yes.
Are there any more recent
From what you can tell from
maps?
this map, it seems to predate the war.
It predates the war. Okay, that's interesting.
As Nargrax is moving over this map, can I prepare a spell too?
Sure, yeah.
Alright then.
Okay. Seeing that the geography of the land doesn't really correspond to the one day, I think Nargrax would look at more recent maps, maybe from the last
No.
100 years.
You already made it.
The more recent maps, for the most part, are pretty much what you see in the continent map.
No,
Spire of Kron is not there on the map, and a couple of the markers for the spires in the northwest are also not there.
The northwest being this large island here.
That's
Oh, sorry,
northwest.
the northeast.
Northwest over there.
Northwest over there. Yeah.
Basically, 3 of these spires are not there.
Actually, how about this continent over here? Or island, sorry.
That seems to be, and that map also seems to be marked with the spires.
that's
In the
that's
maps
the
that
Spire land.
predated, in the maps that predated, basically there was no markers for spires at all.
So the predated map don't have these here at all.
No, it's just an island which has a series of towns in it.
I see. It's interesting. I think what Nargrax is basically looking for, he's looking for a map with the Shrine of Yaldrin on it, and he wants to see if there are any significant landmarks that are around the location where that where Lilia was luring him to, or like guiding him to, I should say.
I'm going to see that on the map that predates the war. You do see a marker on there. It seems to be marked with a place called. Did I make a note of this? No. I don't think I made a note of the name. It's marked as Terola.
Okay. So in relation to that location, are there any books detailing the history of that place, again around the 250-year mark, of any significant events that may have occurred there?
Roll investigation for see if you can find anything on Terola.
Actually, nope, I'm going to roll it 20 rather than that probably isn't much better, but yeah, I'm guessing I don't find anything
With advantage.
with advantage. Oh, nice. It's probably going to be lower, isn't it?
Probably, yeah.
Screw
The
you.
DM really.
I was actually just thinking 7 as well.
Great.
Nat 20.
Thank
Nat 20
you.
next one.
I got a 1 nat 20 for you back to single digits again.
I'm going to say that you managed to find. Actually, do you have modifiers to add to it?
No, to investigation I don't. I only have a
Right,
+0,
never mind.
which is annoying.
Actually, generally looking for information on Terola. You mostly just find scant references to it in various books. It mostly refers to it as being a place to contain things.
Okay.
And there's mention of great guards and of the spires being a thing of beauty.
Very good. Right. So this will honestly be the last book, and I do apologise for asking so many questions. Nogox would like to look for a book on, like, just seeing Flint messing around with his scrolls lately. He's interested in perhaps in making something to help the party. So he's just looking for a book on, like the practices for crafting items, I suppose.
Okie.
Just to kind of make it a
any
bit more
particular
useful.
items?
If you were looking over at me, you'll see me like fiddling with the lockbox I bought in a stone, trying to prepare the spell.
Mostly in terms of utility, probably to help keep the party rejuvenated.
Okay. Roll investigation again with advantage. I'll let you.
Thank you. My rolls are that bad tonight, even you're taking pity on me.
Yes, pity rolls.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. Okay.
You find exactly what you're after.
Thanks.
Yeah, right. Pretty sure I know what you're after.
Yeah.
From what you mentioned, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically you find a book that has a fully detailed schematic of exactly how to make the item in question.
Okay.
And in fact, the details are so specific, it seems like it might actually save you a bit of time when you're making it. Be able to knock.
Convenient.
Let me just double check.
Dub-de-dub-de-dub.
Isn't your
And a
key to play that?
PG-13.
You think you'd probably be able to knock off about 20 hours off the construction of this item?
Okay. Is this a book that can be lent out, or is it like is it like an older book that's perhaps just there to be read at the library?
Honestly, you can't tell. You didn't actually ask at any point if these books can be taken out.
I suppose really it's just because for the most part we'll just be reading them here, and there's literally no one else around to ask at the moment.
Indeed.
Given Flint's formal profession, would I be able to tell if this is a learnable book? Like, I know libraries near us have like a little pocket
I
or
mean, I suppose
something.
there has to be some sort of practice for what people should do when.
Roll
libraries
intelligence
are-
with advantage, Zach.
Intelligent.
Not Flint. Anyway, yeah.
We are one and the same.
Zlint, yes.
25. A 17.
Okay, it seems to work on based on borrowing a book by a fee. You put down your details, guild members get a discount, but the books are always expected to be returned or replaced with better books.
Oh.
The fee is a gold piece per book.
Gold
Is
piece,
this,
did you say?
Yes.
is this displayed anywhere for me to show Nargrax?
I'd say, yeah, you managed to wander around and you quickly found this information.
I mean, considering there is a sign for no talking in every language, I should expect that the rules for the library would also be there somewhere.
So I have like pointed out to Nargrax.
Okay, Nargrax will take a note of that, and he'll put down the gold piece to lend out the book.
When you do that, you actually look behind the desk and you see the librarian from before. She's just fast asleep in a chair. Mouth wide open, just snoring slightly.
Maybe we should write her a note saying what you've done, Nargrax.
Just see if I can do this.
Walk over and loudly say, "Yes, I'd like to buy this book. This is a great tome of grand adventure. I'd like to procure it."
Right, 1 second.
It doesn't understand how libraries work.
She snaps a finger and a quill appears in her hand. Okay, can I take your name? And I'll take 1 gold, please.
Nargrax
my name
will put
is-
down the gold.
Pay for my own book, thank you. Rex,
I
this is
had-
a gold piece.
I had one
Fine.
for myself. I meant to. I didn't mean to insult you, Simeon. I do apologise.
She
None taken.
traces the quill over the paper and your names appear without it actually touching. And she makes notes of the guild that you're in and the time of the books being taken out. Okay, so the rules are right. So basically, bring the books back when you can. We'll send someone out to come and find you in a couple of weeks if you don't bring them back. It'll be a bit minor fine. Yeah. If you damage or lose the book, I want to keep it, so you got to replace it with something better, basically.
I'll lean into Flint. Bring it back? How do I bring the book back?
Well, you don't really keep these books, Simeon. It's more like a rental. You've heard of Sword for Hires, yes?
Certainly.
You've heard of a sword for hire? Well, this is a book for hire.
Oh, I see. If you do not pay the sword for hire, we return the sword. In a less than pleasant manner. Do we do the same with the book?
Simeon, do a perception check. You sense something behind you.
Spidey sense on the back of my neck.
Yep.
You're Simeon Tingle.
And I don't suppose by chance behind the counter there's a mirror.
No, there's not.
And I just sort of stiffen a little bit and just look like side-eye behind me.
There seems to be some sort of spectral floating book with a face on it looking at you.
I will whirl around in horror. Oh! Throw my sword at it. Get away!
Oh god.
Books are evil! How did we come to this place?
You would do well to return one of my children to me. It just then moves straight towards you and passes through you.
Swing at nothing. Oh!
And you see it then kind of shrinks down and then goes into a book that's beside the librarian.
We might be out of town for a bit. How much of an issue would this cause if we hadn't returned the books by then?
Put down an additional gold. You'll have 4 weeks. You should be back by then, I imagine.
Grex will put down an additional gold then in that case.
I'll very gingerly put down an extra gold.
Is there anything else you need before I go back to sleep?
No, nothing for me. Once again, thank you for your help.
No problem, no problem. Hope you tidy up after yourselves. With that, she leans back and closes her eyes. You did not tidy up after yourselves.
No.
We did not.
Can Nigrex go and do that, or does he literally have to go?
Up to you.
Nigrex will go back and tidy up after himself.
I'll help.
That's not considering that comment.
I'm eyeing my book very suspiciously after seeing the ghost book.
Roll a d20 with your proficiency bonus.
Is that me?
Yes.
This is going to be my table fable, isn't it? Can't stat books.
Net one, net one, net one, net one.
Let me just
net
see
one.
what my proficiency bonus actually is. It's plus 3.
3.
Okay, come on, not that one.
Hey.
You managed to put the books back in a relatively quick pace. There's only a couple that you didn't really know where they might go, so you just kind of shoved them somewhere. I seen them.
I said I would help him with that.
Yeah,
Roll with advantage.
fine. Blink can also roll alongside.
Am I rolling?
Oh, fine. Yeah, maybe you should roll that.
D20 with your proficiency bonus, which will be the same, plus 3.
Alright. So 21 with the plus 3.
Oh, yeah. everything gets put away quite nicely then. In that case,
Flynn just noticed that like the last 2 books were just the wrong way around, so he just
Yeah, so
takes them. It's just like solid 8.5 out of 10 effort.
if Flint was a bit more efficient, he was also using a mage hand to. I assume you have mage hand, don't you?
no, I don't have mage hand.
No, I ignore that then. But
I used to be a librarian.
you were just a lot more efficient at doing it.
It's almost like he had a mage hand. That's how fast he was.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you guys do now then?